updates and all. Yeah, you have completed the yesterday's code lab, which was given at the earliest, and I guess you everyone has created with the simple app, right? Yeah. So in next quick 30 minutes, we'll recall some of the code labs, and we'll wind up the today's part. Yeah. So just give me a minute. I'll be back. Everyone. Yeah. So as we already in the lack of time, we have just remain of this 30 minutes and all. That's it. So we'll move up fast in the today's meet, and we'll cover up some of the code labs and finish up or wind up the today's meet. Yeah. So yes. So before starting it, as we'll discuss in a quite short terms and all. So like yesterday we have completed with the stages of activity life cycle, where after that the third and fourth one, which is the introduction to app architecture and the architecture, the UI layer, it's a YouTube video. It's an optional, but you could have watched it later. So now we are going to discuss the today the next code lab, that is view model and state in compose. So once we completed this, we'll remain with the two code labs, that is 6 and 7. So the 6 and 7 code lab will be given you as a task for today. Even if there is some tasks in the 5 also, so today's task will be for you the like 5, 6, 7 code labs. So now I'll explain the fifth code lab, that is view model and state in compose. So yes, we could have come across with the many different multiple things which you could have seen in the left panel. So yeah, let's start the today's topic, that is all about on view model and state in compose. So which is it is a best concept. It is a modern concept and in Android development, where there is a view model and the state in compose. So see, there is a simple question like, when we using an app where we type something, rotate screen, and suddenly everything disappear. See, have you like ever used an app where you type something, rotate the screen, and suddenly everything disappear? Yes. uh, why does this happen? Because like this happens because the app is not handling the state properly. It doesn't handling the state properly. Yes. And also, see, in the today's meet, we'll understand what are all the different things, what is state, how compose handles UI, what is the view model, and why we need it, and also how to build a clean app architecture. We'll come across with all these particular areas. We'll cover up all these things, and by the end, you will understand how to build apps that don't lose data and behave correctly. We'll at the end we'll look into all those things in the today's meet. So yes, before we start, let's start with the basics. Before we start, let's start with the basics. That is, what is a state? A basic question will arise is means what is state? Like state, it is the data that the UI displays. For example, text in a text field, score in a game, button click or not, and also all of this is called, or all of this is considered as a state. Now in Jetpack Compose, UI works very differently. For example, compose follows this rule: UI is a function of state, and where that means when a state changes, UI automatically or updates and all. So no, like you don't manually refresh UI like in old Android and all. So for example, see, if score is 10, then UI shows as it is as a 10. If score is equals 10 20, then UI updates automatically. So this is called a recomposition. So this is called recomposition. So these are all the basic things we're gonna look into over this particular part, so this particular code lab. So yes, look into the app overview, which is app you're gonna build like this. See, as you can see, it's a game overview. It's also called as game overview, where the unscramble app is a single player world scrambler game. You're gonna build a scrambler app like this. See, like where this app will show a word, uses a guess user use the guesses the word, and also it updates the score, and also it helps for the word count updates and all. So here we have multiple states like current word, score, word count. So our goal is to manage this properly. So yes, now we'll go with the starter app overview. So make sure that when you're building these kind of things, make sure that to follow the exact instructions what are has been given. In fact, follow the exact correct code lines what are all given in the code labs. So basically, initially the app might store data directly inside the UI. For example, score inside composable, word inside composable. But like this creates problems when a data resets on recompositions, hard to manage logic, so not scalable. So we need a better solution for it. So yes, so this is like, you know it helps basically how data stores directly inside, particularly inside the UI, and how it's going to, but it will face some of the problems and all. So we have to find the better solution to clear it, all those things. So have, and also they have given some coded lines over here. We could have watched, they have given every particular screen code lines over here. So watch it carefully, and make what are all the update changes has to be required for the to build it. So please make sure that to build or to run in a correct exact particular way. So yes, this is all about basically starter app overview. Next, just give me a minute. Yeah, so as you can see, they have given some scoring dialogues and all, with some correct instructions of the code lines. So follow up these code lines, and you're gonna know how it will work and how it will move in each single step and all. So yes, moving to the next part, that is learning about the app architecture. Where now let's talk about the architecture. See, we divide the app into two layers, that is UI layer and the logic layer. We're going to divide the app architecture, or divide the layers into two, that is UI and the logic layer. Basically, the UI layer helps to displays the data, takes a user input and all. So it's like a working on the all the UI colors, all the UI themes and all, including some of the inputs, which is with inputs takes from the users and all. So it is a thing which is performs from the UI. So where the logic layer helps to process the data which is taken from the input, as the performance has been done from the UI. It processes the data and holds the state. So it is all about like logic layer. But the important role of it is UI should not manage the logic. UI's part is just to maintain some of the things, like adding some of the colors, adding some of the text fields with the different font style, and adding image. That's the UI performs only these particular. It will play only these particular major roles. Rather than that, like the UI should not performs, or the UI should not manage any of the logic. The logic is all about, for the different section. UIs is all about like maintaining some of the things and maintaining some of the parts over there. And also, Okay, just give me a second, guys. I guess my screen is not changing, right? Okay, okay, I got it, got it. Yeah, now I hope you are seeing the fourth part, that is learn about app architecture, right? Yes, okay, okay, guys. My mistake. My fault, my fault. Yeah. So it's coming back. Yeah, as I said, the basically the UI should not manage the logic. The UI should only display the data, and logic should be handling separately for that particular area. So next, moving to the adding a view model. So it is a very important concept. So listen carefully on these things. So as the coding parts will be all on your side, so watch out the coding parts and work on it. Yeah. So just give me a minute before starting it. Yes, guys. Yeah. So as I said, this is a very important concept, that is add a view model part. So this is where view model comes in, where we use view model to manage the data and all. So now let's break down all the different parts and we'll go on with step by step. So basically, the first comes with what is view model. Like view model, it is a class that stores UI related data, survives configuration changes, and separates logics from the UI. It helps in a three different functions, where it helps to store the UI related data and helps to survive the different configuration changes. What are all some of the configuration changes may will survives over here, and also it separates from logics and UIs, and also so this is a basically view model. And like key advantage when it comes to the advantages of view model, we could have see, or we could have understand that when screen rotates, view model does not get destroyed. So this is the best basic key advantages of the view model. So where the data remains safe, the data doesn't get destroyed even when the screen rotates. View model helps not to get destroyed, where it helps to store the data and remains the data safe. So now let's assume that think of a UI as a display screen and a view model as a brain. So where understand the concept in this particular way. See, brain stores data. That is a view model, where screen shows data. It is the UI as a display screen. Let's assume, as I said, let's assume UI as a display screen, view model as a brain, where brain stores data. That is, view model stores the data. At the same time, UI screen shows the data. There is difference, don't get confused. View model stores the data, screen shows the data. One performs storing the data and another performs the showing or displaying the data. So this is the major aspects. So like getting into deeper, it helps with the many different aspects, many different things and all. They have also given some of the, they have given all the code lines with the single step instruction, so follow it carefully. So but in particularly when it comes to view model, don't get confused. And you should also might observe, we have gone with some in the some previous days project, we have come across with the MVVM pattern, where is model view model pattern, where that's the view model we are discussed right now. So basically don't get confused, please be clear with that view model is just like a brain which stores the data. So basically the view model helps to stores the data, where the UI helps with to displays the data. So there is a difference showing and storing. So watch it carefully and got a straight point through it. Next, moving with the architecture, your compose UI. Yeah. So yes. So now we are connect to the view model to UI. So like I'll just explain the flow of it. Just uh, get an idea. So you will get an idea of it. So see how the flow will go. Means it will perform in such a way like first with the view model where storing of the data, then provides the state with the second part, then UI observes where shows the data, and UI updates where it finally updating some of existing parts in which is performs in the intermediate and all. So like in this particular way the flows goes over there. So as I said, you view model where to storing the data, provide state which is the intermediate part, and the UI observes where it helps to observes, and it's where ready to shows the data, and also at finally UI updates where it performs with the updating of the data. So this is all about like architecture, your compose UI. So the important concept you have to observe is UI should be stateless, where it should be like, that means it should not store important data, and it should just display data from view model. So this is the important concept you have to understand, where the UI should be stateless, where as I said it should not store the important data, where it should just display data from the view model. That's it. Its part is just to displaying the data from the view model. That's it. Rather than that, it should not store any important data over here. So for example, see, for example, I could have take instead of UI managing score, we do view model manages score, UI displays the score. So this is a better example we could have understand easily. So next, moving to the next, that is verifying the guess word and update score. Yeah. So like verifying guess and update score. So now let's handle logic. Let's straightly move on to the logic part. So see, when a user enters a guess, so like check if correct or update a score. So just give me a minute. Yeah, sorry. Yes. Now, as I said, you verify guess and update score. So see, now let's handle, as I said, your logic. So when user enters a guess, so I'm talking about guess, verify guess word. So users enter a guess. So that we have to do is we have to check if it's correct, and we have to update the score. So this is the logic is written inside the view model, where UI just sends the input. So this is the thing you have to understand in this particular manner. And also this flows in goes such a way that first it will comes with the user input, and next move on with the view model check, and then updates the state. At last, UI updates automatically without any part at all. So they have also given some coded lines over here for those particular thing. So make sure that you should follow the exact step-by-step instructions what they have given. Don't miss out any of the steps while doing the coding part in the Android Studio. So make sure that you are taking the same codes with the corrected lines, and make sure to watch the screen, the example screen that we are matching with the output exactly like what you're seeing in the code labs. So please, as I said, you make sure to follow the exact given steps. Yeah, moving to the update score and word count. Now, see, in this part, we maintain the score and we maintain the word count. And also, like each time when user guesses, score will gonna increase in this particular area. And next, words will also change. So all of this handle inside the view model. As you can see here, they have also given some example. Just watch it over here. Yeah, so this is in this particular part, it basically helps to increase the score and helps to change the word. So in this part, we are maintaining of score and word count. So basically, updating the score and word count is all about like we are maintaining two parts, that is score and word count, which helps to increase the score and helps to update the word changes. So this is all about updating score and word count. So now handling last round, which is given as last handling last round of a game. So finally, we handle the last round. For example, when the game ends, it should show the final score. What you are looking on the screen for score 40. So this is all about like handling the last part. As you can see, the score 40. It should displays the final score and it should stop the game when it reaches the last round of the game. See, as you can see, it should show the final score and it should stop the game. As I said, you see it stops the game after it shows the final score. Congratulations, you should score, your score is 100, you scored is 100, congratulations, which means it showing the final score, that is 100, and basically it's stopping the game. So this is how it performs like this. See, it given in such a way like this. They have also given here, play the game until the end and observe alert dialog with the options to exit the game or play again. Try the option displays on the alert dialog. So see, this is the your final app should get in such a way like this. Next, coming to the state in device rotation. State in device rotation. See, like what is device rotation? Basically, a device rotation means changing the screen from the portrait to the landscape or vice versa, as everyone knows how the rotation works in mobile phones and all. So like when this happens, when Android treats it as a configuration changes, we have come across with the term configuration changes. See, in such a way, this is like how the device rotation helps. So this is gonna look like this. So what happens during the during the rotation means when the device rotates, the current activity will destroy and new activity is created again. Yeah, and also like so the life cycle will become like this: on, stop, on, pause, stop, destroy, create, start, resume, where we discussed in the previous sessions. So next they have given the solution code, you could have go through it. Yeah, so the conclusion, yeah. So at the well, before concluding, will just let's summarize quickly before concluding. So in this code lab, we have summarized many different things. They are state, which helps to data shown on the screen, and the compose UI updates automatically when state changes. We have gone through this topic also, and view, how view model stores and manages the data. And next, how UI should be simple and stateless, and also at next, view model service configuration changes. So basically, this helps to build a clean and stable apps. So yeah, so to conclude on this, in modern Android development, managing state properly is just the key to building reliable apps. So, like with Compose, UI is just a reflection of state, and with the view model, we manage the state safely and efficiently. So, always remember, keep UI simple and move logic to the view model, and also let state drive your UI. Like if you follow this approach, your app will be cleaner, your app will be easier to maintain without any crashes of the code and all, and it will look more professional. So yes, so control your state and you control your entire app. When you control a state, it will be like controlling the entire app. Yeah. So yes, this is all about the second or today's code lab, what we have discussed, what we have learned on this particular part. So yes, so this is how you gonna do, how you gonna perform in this lab. So I guess this is in this is enough for the today's so yeah, this is enough for the today's code lab. That is, so today's meet, that is the fifth code lab, all about view model. Yes, yeah, this is all about, we have completed the fifth code lab, that is view model and state in Compose. So the today's task for you guys is yeah, to complete the code lab of 5, which is to build a simple game, and try to complete the code lab of 6 and 7 also. We'll not looking into the those two particular code labs, because we have still more code labs to work on. We'll start with the new topic from tomorrow. So I'm saying everyone to complete the remaining code labs, that is 5, 6, 7. So the today's task for everyone is to complete the code labs of 5, 6, 7. Is that clear? I guess it's clear for everyone. Yeah. Yes. So yes, thank you everyone, and it was my fault. Sorry from my side to for starting the sessions at late taking more time and starting sessions after a long time. It was my fault from my side. So I guess it will not happen again in from next coming sessions. So yes, thank you one and all. Please make sure to complete the code labs, the 5, 6, and 7. So thank you one and all. Have a great day.